Welcome back to Music Theory Logic. Andrew here, and today I wanted to talk about it's another I wish I knew, and it's going to be I wish I knew the reason to know scale shapes and chord shapes for getting better at guitar. And this kind of steps outside of the umbrella of content I've made that's focused at, for those of us or other people out there making music on the computer. A lot of people that do that also play guitar, so this perhaps will apply to those people. And you could adapt these concepts to more than just guitar, but I feel like learning scale shapes and chords can seem really random in the beginning. Like, why should I memorize this? Why should I practice this? Why should I play it? And there's a light bulb that went on for me actually when I was learning all along the Watchtower by Jimi Hendrix, which my former band Counterpoint Culture even recorded. You can find that somewhere. And when I was learning that song, I really the first two solos, tried to learn it note for note. Shout out to Timothy Quinn, my guitar teacher at the time, who provided me those transcriptions. And I had, like many guitar players, been noodling around with pentatonic, minor pentatonic, multiple shapes for quite some time, and I had never really linked that stuff that I was learning, really just motivated by listening to my teacher and just wanting to progress and get better at the instrument. And when I was learning that all along the Watchtower solo, there's a riff that Hendrix does where he's the very first solo, which won't be audible because this isn't really plugged in, where he goes. So and basically that's in the key of C minor, and it's straight up pentatonic notes. And when I was learning that, I remember not where I was, but that moment of a light bulb going on and realizing, wait a second, is he just using the scale tone to kind of sing on top of the track? And that's exactly how musicians and the better players use scales. They're not playing scales for really the look at me nature of I can play a scale. They're not playing a scale so that they can pass a class or anything like that. But a scale basically outlines the notes that are going to sound a certain way with a piece of music. So past that, really just using our ear, our imagination, that's how we get to the actual notes. But I feel like it's really important to understand scales and chords, so we could adapt this outside of guitar, scales and chords, so that you can understand your own music and music of other people that you're trying to learn. It really applies when you're playing guitar or piano or trumpet and you're learning other people's songs. If you know scale shapes, hopefully that same light bulb goes on for you, where you can start to see what you're playing through the lens of the scale that it is. And I wish I'd realized that earlier. Once I did realize that, it made all of my technical sort of practice, like doing scales and arpeggios, feel a lot more purposeful, because I, again, understood how that links into music. So hopefully that helps you out there. I want to kind of get rid of the illusion that learning scales and chords somehow ruins your soul on playing guitar. I feel like I can make the argument from talking or looking at the music of all these great guitar players. Hendrix is a good example, who played the version of All Along the Watchtower, written by Bob Dylan, that I was learning. And Hendrix, although self-taught, there's a wonderful book, Becoming Jimi Hendrix, that I highly recommend. I have read it multiple times and I love it. It focuses on who Hendrix was living with and playing with during this time period after he got out of the army until he became Jimi Hendrix. And the rest is history. And he was playing with a bunch of different people. He learned a lot from Dick Dale, famous pioneering surf guitar player. And I imagine whether Hendrix was calling the scales by their names or modes or anything like that, he knew those scale shapes and knew those chords, and we see them in his music. And there's something that kind of happens that the further you get, the next level, is that you don't really have to think about scale shapes. We're so connected to our instrument that we're kind of singing with our instrument. So one time I'm in minor and I play the notes in minor because I'm trying to play something sad and in that key. And then perhaps I'll do a major arpeggio, not really thinking, oh, here's a major arpeggio, but just thinking that I'm trying to play something uplifting. And that I feel like is kind of the ultimate goal in music, but understanding scales and chords is kind of like on the way to get there, I believe. I am still on that journey. I constantly try to get better at playing guitar. I kind of laugh with myself. Guitar isn't as much of my day-to-day business stuff as it once was, but it got me to the dance. It got me here. I love playing guitar, and I do it really just for fun. Shorts have been a good outlet for me to apply some guitar playing. So hopefully you've enjoyed those shorts. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, my name is Andrew. Thanks for hanging out at Music Theory Logic. If you found this helpful or are curious about more content, please subscribe and check out some of the other videos. I'll see you next time. Have a wonderful day.